What's up, Fantasy Football Universe? It is SC Romero here to bring you another Devy Diamond. Now, this is an exciting prospect I'm stoked to talk about because he's really caught my eye and risen my draft boards, and that is going to be Colorado State's wide receiver, Tory Horton. So, we're going to get into all the details about him right after the intro. What's up, Fantasy Football Universe? As I said, it's SC Romero here to bring you another Devy Diamond. I'm excited for y'all joining me here today to speak about Colorado State's wide receiver, Tory Horton. Before we begin, Fantasy Football Universe is dropping daily content from start sit to waiver wire to just anything you need in fantasy football to take advantage of your leagues. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button just to follow through and be up to date in everything that we're dropping because fresh content is coming out every single day. So let's get into Colorado State's wide receiver, Tory Horton, one of my favorite prospects growing on me, really. A little bit about his past. He's a three-star prospect out of Washington Union High School in Fresno, California. Originally committed to Nevada, surprisingly, in 2019. And then he actually transferred to Colorado State in December of 2021, which is pretty cool. You know, you've seen a lot of transfers, and he's one of them. During his freshman season, 32 targets, 20 receptions, had less than 350 yards. Ended up redshirting his freshman season. Redshirt freshman season, his second season in college, he actually did pretty well. You know, caught 52 of 66 passes and had 70.8% completion rate when targeted. So that's phenomenal to see as well. Had 659 yards and 5 touchdowns through the air there. His third season, which would be his first season with Colorado State, would end up being his breakout season. This kid just completely dominated for Colorado State, looked great in his first year with them, increased his targets, saw 109 targets, 71 passes caught for 1,131 yards, and 8 touchdowns. We got to see more of his playmaking abilities, more of his elusive once the ball is in his hands, the ability to get yards after contact or yards after the catch, once he's getting there, which is great to see. And it just went up from there. In his second season, last season with Colorado State, 134 targets, phenomenal. 96 passes caught, awesome. Still above 70% completion when thrown his way, awesome. 1,144 yards, great. 575 yards came after the catch. Again, we saw it in the first season with Colorado State. We see it again. This kid is elusive when it's in his hands. He knows how to evade contact from defenders and get yards after the catch consistently, which is great to see. The bad thing is, man, his physicality. We're going to talk more about it, but he only caught 8 of 18 contested catches. So definitely needs to increase there in his first season with Colorado State. And last season, he did increase it a little bit with 8 of 14 contested catches caught. So that's great. But still, you want to see a little bit more of that, especially with someone in his frame, about 6'3". He's a little bit leaner, so I get it. But you need to see it, right? That length in him to be able to go up there and catch at the high point and bring it down as well. 21 missed tackles forced, though, last season as well. This season, hasn't been so great so far. Just 8 receptions for 96 yards. He did get a groin injury last week, so that could have been an issue why he didn't necessarily see as much opportunity, right? And he says he's hopeful to play. They have a big game tomorrow in against Colorado, so that's a huge rivalry, right? In-state battle there. That's big. But he has to go out there and sell. If he's playing, it's like, bro, go out there and ball out. If you're feeling 80%, don't worry about it. To be honest, I'd rather you get healthy, not go out there and battle with a lingering injury, and then all of a sudden your stat line is even worse than what it was just last week with 2 receptions, okay? So we need to see more in there. Again, he has shown the talent that he can get those yards after the catch, that he can be elusive with the football, that he can gain the separation. This season sees a little bit of a struggle, and with that groin injury, man, just get healthy. Don't go out there and play and then make it worse than what it already is at this time, just being an injury. Okay. Now, everyone has their strength. Everyone has their areas of improvement. Right now, a strength for him, route running. He looks great. He's a polished route runner. He has the ability to create separation, to make sharp cuts with precise timing when he's doing his routes, which is great. And his footwork allows him to evade the defenders and find the soft spot in zone coverage to get open for his quarterback as well. Yards after the catch, as I mentioned, he's superb in that. Once the ball is in his hands, he's a dangerous athlete to go out there and extend the plays to make a what could be a short, just quick slat route into a significant gain for any offense he could be a part of, which is awesome. Versatility, he could really line up anywhere. You can see him in the slot, you can see him outside, you can see him at the X. It doesn't really matter. He can line up anywhere, and that I think will be key in his draft day process, just because people are gonna be like, man, this is a plug and play player. He can go out there and ball from us at any position and be someone we want to get to. I don't necessarily think he's an X at the next level. He could definitely be a wide receiver too, but I think he might shine the most when he's in the slot there. Now his speed, he does possess some good speed. He has straight line speed. He has the sideline speed if you want, can stretch the field, take the top off the defenses, can't force defensive backs to just step back a little bit just to respect his speed and so that he doesn't exploit them and just beat them downfield as well. And again, in those shorter routes, he shows sharp cuts, man. When he's making them, he's just boom, boom. He's just right in the middle, right in your face. So you have to adjust accordingly just to watch out for him. And body control. He does exhibit great body control. He needs to adjust his hips. He can do that. If he needs to stretch a little bit, he can do that. The body control when it's coming to the catches is phenomenal. I do enjoy watching that. I think that makes it simpler for his quarterback just to find them because he knows throw it in the vicinity of where Tory Horton is, and he's going to make the catch there, which is always great to see there. Now, as I mentioned, everyone has areas of improvement. For him, as I said earlier, a leaner size, so his physicality comes into question, right? When it comes to the bigger defenders, when they press him at the line of scrimmage, that's huge because a lot of times that just disrupts his passing route, and that just affects the whole play. If the quarterback doesn't see where he needs to be within those seconds there, it adjusts him, makes him have to look somewhere else, and then next thing you know, it's not a reception for Tory Horton or even a big game. It's just a quick dump off. So we want to see more of that from him, just to see it expanded, especially in the NFL. They're bigger, stronger, faster at that next level. So when he can expand on that and just do better, that'll be great for him in general. Blocking, every wide receiver can benefit in better in their blocking skills. Just again, when you see your running back going downfield, chances are your offensive lineman's not going to be there. Your wide receivers become those linemen as far as the blockers. So we want to see better or just more polished blocking from him, just so he can be a more versatile weapon for any offense, because they could be like, man, he's our blocker too. We're going to keep him in here when we plan to do a running play as well. Consistency. Against stronger defenders, man, he could definitely disappear, which is not great, right? I wouldn't say he's upper echelon of the wide receiver class, but he's definitely someone that could do good things. But, man, when he's going against these tougher defenders, they could shut him out completely. Put him against a Christian Gonzalez, put him against a Sauce Gardner, put him against your top defensive backs that can just lock down on wide receivers, and then guess what? He's just irrelevant all game. So we want to see more consistency and just having some bigger games down the field, down the stretch there of the season as well, because that will just definitely help his draft board there. Now, size and strength, as I mentioned, we want to see that goes along with the physicality. He's about 6'3", so the length is there, but his body size, he's under 190, right? You think of a Troy Franklin, but Troy Franklin was a lot faster, a lot more fluid in his cuts, a lot more agile getting yards after the catch. So he's Troy Franklin, but on a lesser scale. So again, we want to see him bulk up a little bit, especially as an NFL prospect. He needs to bulk up a little bit to make that impact there as well. Concentration. At times, he has a bunch of drop balls, man. And at the next level, you can't do that. You have to, because what happens is he gets the balls in his hands, but when he comes down, he lets it go and it's incomplete. At the NFL, you have to follow through all the way through the catch, right? It's not just catch it and go down. You follow through all the way through the catch. The ball's bobbling, anything like that, incomplete, right? So you have to make sure you have full concentration when you get the hands on the ball, and then that way when you go through, it's no question, hey, that's a catch. I think that's something that he could definitely improve on. Now, as far as his draft stock, he is eligible in the class of 2025. I believe right now consensus has him around the day 3 pick, and I get it. Man, but I really like this kid's talent, and I think he could be one of those day 2 picks, a wide receiver that sneaks in there that people are like, okay, yeah, we got to get him because we can't take a risk of him not being there for us in day 3. So I think he's a day 2 prospect, probably round 3. I could see him sliding into the back end of round 2 if he ends up having a phenomenal season. With the way it's going now, definitely not. He's not going to be a round 2. Still can possibly be a late round 3. But the way it's going now, he is pushing himself back into that day 3 just based on stat lines. But again, the talent is there. I think it could be a day 2 pick. And I think the Dallas Cowboys will be a great pick, right? I think the Cowboys, they address the wide receiver and the running back early. The running back in round 1. I mean, I've said it over and over, this running back class is deep, but you're going to get one of the upper echelon running backs in round 1. Go ahead and get it. And then come around round 3, Dallas Cowboys, go get it. Why? Because he could really fit into a Brandon Cooks type of role. Like, I think he could be outside, but he could also be in the slot. He could be what Brandon Cooks is. And that way, Brandon Cooks is still there with the Dallas Cowboys next year. He is someone that can teach Tory Horton how to develop NFL level skills. Just kind of take him under his wing and be like, look, bro, you're going to be the next one there, which is phenomenal. And outside of Brandon Cooks, the Dallas Cowboys really need someone on the outside to play opposite of CeeDee Lamb. He's not taking over CeeDee Lamb's role. CeeDee Lamb is the alpha there. He is the top dog there. But they need someone that can go underneath, cut underneath to let CeeDee Lamb go up top. Or someone that can just catch the ball really and get some gains after it if the teams are double teaming CeeDee Lamb. I think Horton adds another avenue to an offensive arsenal that needs more weapons for Dak Prescott, especially after he got his extension there. And his speed, athleticism, and sharp routes just make him an ideal candidate to be someone that could potentially be on special teams at first and then work his way up, because I think his work ethic is there to continue to persevere and get things that he wants, which is be a wide receiver in the NFL, right? And I think right now it's like, all right, get drafted day 3. Maybe you have to work on special teams. The way kick returns are now, it could definitely benefit him. And he's going to work his way up and grind to be that wide receiver 2 for the team eventually for Dak Prescott as well. Either way, I think his playmaking abilities is something that Dallas can benefit from it. Because to be honest, outside of CD, I know Brandon Cooks is there, so we'll say him too. But outside of that, I think Dallas is hurting at the wide receiver room. I don't think they have anyone that could be the playmaker that they want or someone as impactful as what Tory Horton could be. Now, on the fantasy impact, Tory Horton, man, great cause level. As I mentioned, it's expected to be top wide receiver for Colorado State. I think that's going to continue. Again, hopefully this injury of the groin isn't too major that he is able to battle through it and it doesn't strain him or his abilities. He's shown tremendous potential just making big plays. He's showed ability again to make yards after the catch. Definitely a great prospect to have on your college fantasy teams. On the pro level, he has a skill set to contribute to different offensive schemes. I think he's someone that has the speed, route running, and ability to play in both the slot and outside, which can be great. Now, it could take him a little bit to transition to the next level, right? As some of these wide receivers take. So not necessarily that year 1 breakout, but I think he's someone, man, that once you get him, keep him. He's a stash. He's a dynasty stash to start, because I think he's someone that will develop into a wide receiver we're going to talk about later in the years, not year 1, but looking back, you'll be like, man, I got to still drafting Tory Horton, because now look at him. Now he's one of the top prospects or top wide receivers as a wide receiver 2 in the NFL as well. So I think he's a great asset to have in your dynasty leagues. Keep him on your radars come rookie season next year, because I think he's going to continue to rise the boards just consistently throughout the season as he continues to progress and get his feet in. This is a big week for him against Colorado, so let's see what he does here. But that's exciting. I'm stoked to see what Tory Horton does this year. Again, he's already rising up my draft boards. Watch the tape. Don't look at the stats necessarily. Just go watch the tape, see his playmaking abilities, and you'll be impressed as well. That's all I have for y'all today. Again, Colorado State wide receiver Tory Horton. Keep him on your radars. If you enjoyed the show, man, go ahead and give us a like, comment. Let me know what you're thinking about Tory Horton or anybody on Colorado State's team. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Again, the Fantasy Football Universe is dropping content daily to keep you ahead of your fantasy football leagues and make sure you dominate and bring home the trophy at the end of the year. Until next time, I am SC Romero. Follow me on X at the PPR Show. This is a Devy Diamond of the Fantasy Football Universe, Colorado State wide receiver Tory Horton. Appreciate you tuning in. Peace.